Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you how to make the pancakes that I posted yesterday. I made some almond meal pancakes with strawberries on top, and everybody was asking me how I make them. I did kind of post the basic ingredients, and that is actually how I make them. So this is not a recipe, but I'm going to show you what I do in the morning when, over all these years, I've had all these kids that come running down the stairs, rushing off to school, and I'm really quick trying to throw something together, make sure they have something healthy to eat before they go to school. So yesterday I was trying to make something kind of, carb-less, or as close to carb-less as possible. So I had my bag of almond meal. So this is what I did. I opened the bag of almond meal, and I said, okay, let's put in about that much. Okay, so depending how big your family is, I would say this is, let's see, 1 handful to maybe 3 handfuls. Probably a cup-ish. It's about a cup. You know what? This is gonna be fun. Let's try this. Okay, I'm back. I got a measuring cup. Let's see how much I put in there. Okay, so I would say a cup, and it's probably totally packed would be a cup. No kidding. Little bit. A cup in a, it's not even. It's really, would be a packed cup. So three handfuls, 1, 2, 3, is about a cup. All right, so then I said, well, let's give it a little substance. So I got my organic oats out and I did that. Okay, that's probably a couple tablespoons, 1/4 cup. I was only making this for 2 of us. What I ended up making was enough for each of us to have, I think, 2 or 3 pancakes, and I made 1 giant one that we snacked on the rest of the day. Now, we'll throw in a little, for health, little flax seed, maybe a little chia seed. This is how you sneak healthy stuff into the kids, and they don't know it, because it's already supposed to be brown. Okay, then I throw in some cinnamon. Oh, I like cinnamon, so I kind of go lots of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. It's good for you too. And then just a smidge, because I really love nutmeg. It is strong, but I'm gonna just put in a little bit of nutmeg. Now you might have it already ground up. I don't know what it is about love grinding up nutmeg. Okay, and then there's other things you can put in. Like sometimes I'll throw in some coconut. I'm not in the mood for coconut today, so I'm not gonna do that. And then the apples. And I started peeling it, and then I thought, this is what you do with those apples with the spots on them. You cut them off, and then you just cut your pieces of apple. And really quickly. And then I just take my apple, and I cut it in little pieces, and put it in, because I like little chunks, because then you get a little bite of sweetness. I don't like it too small. I don't like them too big. I still want my pancakes to be flat. You can put in whatever else you want. I had some pears I was gonna put in, but then I saw this apple that had a spot on it, so I'm like, okay, I'll use this. So this is the way I do it. So now, once you do this, this is when you start adding in your wet stuff. Put a little more apple in, because I don't like a lot of apple. Okay. Now I'm going to throw in a couple of eggs. First I'm going to just kind of stir this up a little bit. That's not very much, and I want to make these to travel. So I'm actually going to throw in a little bit more almond meal. Again, see, there's no science to this. So it's probably about 1.5 cups of almond meal now. Maybe I'll throw in another, because like I said, I'm ultimately going to finish making these up later on. I'm going to make a whole bunch, even though it's just 2 of us. And take these. These are nice to go snacks. Also good as a snack in the lunch. It's better than a protein bar. So now I'm going to throw in some eggs. Now you're not supposed to crack eggs right in what you're making, because if you're not as good at egg cracker as some of us, then you might get eggshell in there and it's a pain to get it out. So you should crack it outside. Now there's lots of ways to crack an egg: on the counter, on the edge of the counter, so you get stuff dripping down, on the edge of the bowl, or you can just do it on another egg. Actually, always kind of works the best. They always do that in Italy, and I always wonder why both eggs don't crack but they don't. Of course, the last one, you will, oopsie, got a shell. Got it out. You always got to do the last one on the... All right, so I'm going to start with 3 eggs. And you know what? Because I want the protein, I'm doing 1 more. Okay, put it in here, throw it in there. Alrighty, then I've got the standby other liquid, which is the milk. So first thing I'm going to do is blend this all up together. Oops, I forgot something. It's sitting right in front of me. As I look at the spoon and like, why did I have the spoon out? Just a little bit of baking powder. I'm going to say, you know, now this is a regular household teaspoon. I never know where my other measuring spoons are. You know, about a 3/4 of a heaping, maybe a little more. So probably the equivalent of a, maybe 2 teaspoons. This is mostly, you can see here, this is kind of thick. So what I want it to be now, everybody knows, I want to make sure that baking powder's all mixed in. It sure is. Yeah, everybody knows what pancake batter consistency is. You don't want it too wet, you don't want it too dry, because then it's too thick and then they don't cook. So you're just going to start with a little bit of milk. So that was probably 1/4, maybe 1/3 of a cup-ish. But I'm not going to, don't take me on these recipes for something like this. Believe me, in the future, there are some recipes I have exact recipes for, I think. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here now is what the consistency of this is, okay? It's a thick-ish, wet consistency. I think it's a little smidge thick. I'm going to show you here. So it's a little teeny, I like it a little bit thinner because I like making sure, and I don't care if they're thick or thin. Okay, that was just maybe another tablespoon. Now I think it's perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to come back in a second and I'm going to show you how I cook these up really quickly. I'm going to take a break and clean off my counter. Bye. Okay, I'm back. So now I'm going to cook this up. Now the batter got a little bit thick while it was sitting here. So what I've done now is gotten the olive oil out. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil, probably the equivalent of a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. Again, it depends on what you need. You could add a little bit more milk. Now it's like a perfect consistency. And I did not previously add sugar or salt, which I kind of wait till it's all kind of thickened up, and I just add a little bit. You know, I'm going to add a pinch of salt, and this is a demi-tasse, a little teeny, you know, espresso spoon. I usually put about maybe 2 spoonfuls of this, so it's probably the equivalent of a teaspoon total. So 1, 2, and put those aside. I'm going to start mixing this baby up. Okay, so it's all ready to go. So this is already nice and hot. And I did just do a little tester, little baby one. That's before I added the salt and sugar. So it's going to be absolutely perfect. Perfect. I'm just testing the griddle. Okay. So I've sprayed this with just a little teeny bit of spray olive oil, plain olive oil. And now you can normally do this, you know, with the big scoop. You can do big round ones. I'm going to show you first how I made the hearts yesterday, which is really no big deal, but you know, I'm going to get this fork out of here because we don't do forks anymore. Okay, so all I do, get my little olive oil going, and I just kind of put one blob, that's one top of the heart, another little blob. It's nice because it's not too liquidy. And then I just start making the bottom, and I just kind of draw it on here. Once it starts to cook a little teeny bit, I just push in the sides where it got too fat, and boom, you can see I've got sort of a heart. I want my heart to have more cleavage here, so I'll just pull it down a little. And that's all I do to make a heart. Now yesterday, I made a strawberry sauce for these. So all I do is I get a bag of organic strawberries from the grocery store. I usually shop at Trader Joe's. It's probably the equivalent of a cup and a half. It's not a lot of strawberries. But I take the whole bag, I throw it in a little sauce pot with a couple tablespoons of water, and I just let it cook down. I put no sugar in it at all, just plain old frozen strawberries. Yes, I love fresh stuff, so don't sit here and question why I'm not using fresh, but frozen, because they are frozen, they've got the moisture in them that, you know, once they freeze, they get kind of, you know, they get the water crystals. So whatever it is, they melt down really nice. And then they make a great sauce, and that's all we put on top of these. So now gently. Now, this doesn't stick together the same way a gluten-y flour pancake would, so you got to be a little bit more careful when you're flipping it over. And also note that this flour will brown faster, so you've got to be careful. You got to kind of be on a lower heat, get it started, and then because I burnt the first two yesterday because it was so hot so fast, the almond meal cooks, it gets dark faster. So I didn't really burn them. They were just darker than I was going to make for her, so I ate those. They were fine. But that's that. So you see here, you've got a nice heart, or it could be Mickey Mouse, whatever you want it to be. And I'm going to continue cooking these, but I'll turn this off for the moment. But that's all it takes to make something like this. So you can put in apples, you can put in raisins, you can put in bananas, pears. I've done all of the above, peaches. Cut them up in little pieces, and then, you know, get them in your batter. And you have these nice little bites of sweetness. I'm gonna make a bunch of these right now. Actually, I'm not gonna make one right now in front of you while we're finishing talking. I'm gonna make them in little teeny rounds because those make great little snacks for us in the car tomorrow. They're also good for breakfast like this. So I'm gonna make a bunch of little circles, and I'm just gonna go flatten them out a little bit. So they're like, you know, like they call the silver dollar pancakes. Sometimes I make them a little smaller, sometimes a little bigger. But they're going to be great in a Ziploc bag tomorrow, or in a little container while we drive and while we run off around to a couple of colleges. So anyway, enjoy these. Let me know what experiments you do. Someone had asked me yesterday, could you use coconut flour? Absolutely. I've used coconut flour. I've used almond flour. I've used regular flour. When I use regular flour, I tend to stay away from white. I usually use a mix of flour. Sometimes I'll use like a white whole wheat, or I'll use some regular whole wheat. I wouldn't use rye. It's too heavy of a flavor for these, but there's a lot of different flours. This is something you can do with anything. The key to making funky pancakes like these is to not treat them like pancakes that you would, because when you tell everybody in the household that you made pancakes, right away they're expecting white fluffy diner pancakes. These are not going to be fluffy, they're not going to be white. So give them different names. Make sure you say, I made almond pancakes, or I made almond cakes, or something else. Expectation changes people's acceptance of a recipe. So when you take away the pancake name and call it something else, make it up, make your own tradition in your house. My kids are now, at this point, they're used to it, and they're adults, and they get it when I make whatever kind of pancake I'm making. But try giving them different names. You made, you know, some other kind of cakes. And that way, when you serve it with a fruit sauce or some other kind of sauce that you've made, blueberries make a good one, so do peaches. When you make something else, then it makes it more acceptable to them instead of always asking for the maple syrup, which I do love maple syrup. Oh, these are perfect. So, I'm going to be really careful. I don't want them to break. Don't want to scratch my pan. There we go. And we're cruising along. So, that's it for now. You've got a breakfast idea. You can, you know, these make a great little, when it's just you guys at home, makes a good little dessert at night. You know, have this with some, you know, make ice cream sandwiches out of them or whatever. A lot of things you can do with stuff like this. So please, below, write to me. Tell me what you tried, whether you tried it exactly as I did it today or you did some other mixture. You know, all those things I snuck in, like the chia seed and the flaxseed. You know what? When something's already brown and it's expected to be brown, you can throw in whatever you want, and it's healthy and nobody knows. And so you're the sneaky mama. Or sneaky wife. Got to do that too. So anyway, have a good day. And please, if you liked this video, please like it and share it, because I'm trying to, like, you know, build a little bit of a following. I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, like I said, write back to me. Let me know what you're doing. So I have finished my little pancakes here. These are for our snacks for tomorrow for me and Angelina. We're going to visit our last couple college things. I cooled them off on a cookie sheet first. Now I've just got them here on the plate because I know she's going to walk in any minute and want to, bingo, here she is, have one right now after school as a snack. So I made some more of those things from yesterday. And here's Angelina. I knew she was going to go grab one right away.
I'm so hungry.
Of course you are. It's after school.
These are good.
Yeah?
Is there apple in them?
Yeah. What else?
Oats.
Yes.
Almonds.
Yes. Oh, you're good.
I don't know. Pancake?
Pancake. Anyway, so we've got our good snack for tomorrow for the road. So enjoy. And also just remember, these are freezable. And, you know, so you can take them out and defrost them on the way to school or whatever. And that's that. Of course, you can just leave them on the counter after school and let them snack on them. Have a good day. Ciao for now.